stand your ground. Shoot me down, just to stand your ground. You shot me down for no reason. You called it stand your ground. Called it stand your ground.
Keep it here, baby. Blues America. We'll be right back.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Blues America, taking you down to the crossroads. You ready? You ready? You ready? You ready?
Blues America is supported by Record High Vinyl Store in Phoenix, the place for serious music fans and vinyl collectors to find large quantities of first pressings, limited editions, box sets, audiophile, and vintage catalog, including blues, soul, jazz. They buy, sell, and trade, and offer vinyl cleaning and flattening service. Visit the store, located at 4242 East University Drive in Phoenix, or for more online at recordhighinphoenix.com. Like them on Facebook. Record High in Phoenix. Experience one of the last great record stores.
Blues America is supported by the Rhythm Room. The world famous and historical Rhythm Room Concert Club is Arizona's premier blues hotspot, hosting nightly live music. Located at 1019 East Indian School Road in Phoenix and online at www.rhythmroom.com.
Damn right we got the blues. Blues America, right now.
Blues America is supported by the Southwest Musical Arts Foundation. You're listening to Blues America. Blues America.
If you just turned this thing on, let me tell you what you're doing. You're listening to Blues America. I'm your host, the guy behind the blues, Drew Verbis. And I'm hanging out at the Chico Chisholm Memorial Studio in Phoenix at 4242 East University Drive with today's special guest, musicologist and author Steve Bergsma.
I just want to go back. You asked me a question prior. Now, this wasn't revealed in my book, but she talked about it. She had a drug problem, Mary. And the odd thing was, when she was a singer and when she was young, she didn't do drugs. But after her marriage, and then when she began living with Curtis, she started to do drugs. And it wasn't, she just didn't dabble in small drugs. She really went straight to the hard stuff. And this was also became a problem for her. Indeed, even after the surgery where they removed her larynx for cancer, and she should have been trying to get well, she still had a problem with hard drugs. And when I went out to visit her the first time, she was to meet me at a friend's house in Tarzana. Curtis was driving her, and I didn't think this interview was ever going to come off, because an hour I'm sitting around waiting, she never shows up. Then finally, she shows up at the door, and we sit down to do the interview, and she nods out. So, but in the course in those years, when I knew her, she really realized she had a problem, and tried to overcome that drug problem that she had. And Joyce Moore, you might know, Sam's wife, she was very close to Mary, and she worked real hard to try and make sure Mary went to her doctors, make sure Mary got over this drug situation she was, the spiral she was in. She always claimed, even to me, that she never had an addiction. She just liked the result. So I don't know. Is that an excuse? I'm not sure.
Let me ask you, did she talk about what life was like in the 60s for African Americans?
It was, you think Detroit and you think of hard times, but it wasn't. I mean, this was before things got bad, before the riots after Martin Luther King was killed. And this was really, I mean, people didn't have a lot of money, but people had a fairly good life. Mary's hard times really occurred later in life. She had a tough marriage, but she had a couple of kids, and then over and over the recording career would fall apart on her, and she could never break stride again. She had a moment during the disco era where she had a top 10 disco hit called Gigolo, sorry. And but that was it. So it was tough, and she had another child with Curtis. So she had children, and she had a career that just in a circular way just kept never going anywhere.
Some other girls are filling your head with jive.
Steve, music artists are typically inspired by other artists, and especially older artists. Prior to Mary's generation, before the rise of R&B divas like Diana Ross, Ruth Brown, Martha Reeves, Aretha Franklin, some of the famous women singers were Ma Rainey, Bessie Smith, Mahalia Jackson, Dinah Washington. So, I guess I'm curious to know if Mary expressed any admiration to this group of women, or perhaps even had any relationship with traditional blues.
No, this was she really didn't talk about the real deep-hearted blues.
Yep.
But there were. I go back to Laverne Baker and Dinah Washington, who sort of crossed over from the blues.
Nina Simone.
In the 40s to have pretty good pop careers in the 50s.
Yep.
Etta James, at that period of time, and I can't think. But it actually was the same for the men. The singers before the advent of soul,
right?
They'd pop on the charts for a little while, and then you wouldn't hear from them again. But they were great singers. Guys like maybe Lloyd Price, people like that. Till you get to the smoother sounding guys like Sam Cooke, who had very long careers. Jackie Wilson had a long career, but up to them, there were guys who were coming out of the 40s and the 50s and pop on charts, and they would do well. Hank Ballard, guys like that. Really, she was don't forget, when she went to Motown, she was 15, and probably by the time she did her first big record, Bye Bye Baby, came out, she was just 16.
Yeah.
So she was, she just listened to what was popular at the time. So that was
good point. Yeah.
So what was on the pop radios from say 56 to 60 when she first came to Motown, that had been the stuff that she was listening to. She wasn't listening to. She was probably listening to doo-wop actually.
Yeah.
That was the sound of urban radio then.
That's an excellent point.
'Cause you're a split personality.
Blues America. Now that's some home cooking.
Why do you wanna let me go? Why do you wanna let me go? Why do you wanna let me go?
Given the fact that Mary was such a young professional, a star at 15 to 17 years old, was she in her own bubble? Or was there any mention of working relationships and perhaps guidance from some of Motown's older female artists, like maybe one of the singers from the Supremes?
There wasn't. And don't forget, Motown was pretty much a close shop. You were in the Motown bubble. She told me when she was starting there, it was still mostly a male world in Detroit, male singers. And if she tried to sing with, hey, I could sing, let me sing with you guys, they wouldn't let her because she, you're a female. We're doing this male doo-wop sound here, and you can't fit in. So they wouldn't let her sing with them. So that's why it was really special that she was this singular female act at Motown. They had a lot of... you were coming out of that girl group sound at the end of the 50s and early 60s. A lot of brill building writing for the girl groups. But so it was a lighter sound, and he took that and created that sound at Motown. And there was very successful girl groups at Motown, Martha Reeves and singers like that. But the occasionally he would record sort of bluesy singers, but it never really worked out for him.
Tell me about what point did Mary actually stop performing?
She never stopped performing. She performed till they literally took out her larynx. But there's a story that Joyce tells that Mary had conceived this idea that she can go on the stage with Curtis. Now, Curtis used to sing with her and actually